Are the Lakers going after Bradley Beal? Some seem to think so. The Lakers as of right now are in a messy state. Last season was supposed to be a return to the finals year given that they brought in legends like Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and others from the 2020 bubble playoff team that won the title. But by the end of the season, they were not only out of the playoffs, they were seriously below .500, and now the question became, how can they fix this? The simple answer is trading out pieces, and to that end, people think that Bradley Beal is an option for them. We'll explain how that might go. Number 5, Russell for Beal. The Lakers organization, from top to bottom, have been doing their best to try to change the narrative surrounding Russell Westbrook. Everyone and their mother knows the Lakers' preference is not to have Westbrook on the roster next season, but doesn't want to sacrifice a significant draft capital to make that dream a reality. New head coach Darvin Ham has gone to great lengths to outline in multiple radio interviews how he's going to maximize Russell Westbrook next season. Privately, the Lakers have rebuffed trade overtures from teams that involve Russell Westbrook and the franchise's 2027 and 2029 first-round picks. However, it sounds like if the return is great enough, Los Angeles will ship out those ever-valuable first-round picks. In a recent episode of his The Void podcast, Ringer's Kevin O'Connor suggested that the Lakers have some level of interest in trying to acquire Wizards guard Bradley Beal. The one name that I've heard recently is Bradley Beal as another guy that they want. I'm not sure if the interest is as mutual. You know Beal, it seems like Miami would be more of a threat to take him away from Washington. I don't think you can also rule out Boston either because of his relationship with Jason Tatum. But the Lakers are trying to angle for some moves like that using the Russ expiring in the 27 and 29 firsts. Beal was a third-team All-NBA for the 2020-2021 season, but played just 40 games this past season and underwent season-ending surgery on his left wrist. Now the cost would be high, but Beal, a multi-time All-Star who can create his own shot and be an efficient three-point shooter, can be downright scary with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. But as O'Connor notes, there's other teams who can offer better packages than the Lakers if Washington decides they don't want to sign Beal to a massive contract extension and also don't want to relive the Russell Westbrook experience, which if you recall lasted all of 1 year before people from all sides wanted to get rid of him, showing just how much he didn't mesh with the Lakers squad. Some even felt he would go away at the NBA trade deadline mid-season, but obviously that didn't happen. Could Beal be a good fit for the Lakers? Well, we honestly can't say, mainly because that last squad was supposed to work great and it didn't at all. So we won't know until he comes, if he comes. But what if they can't get Beal? Are there other options on the board? Well, there are, but they might not be what you expect. Number 4, KYRIE Irving. Not too long ago, a report surfaced from New York Daily News that the Brooklyn Nets are outright unwilling to offer superstar guard KYRIE Irving a long-term contract extension. Irving has a player option for next season, but some experts believe he won't pick up the $36.9 million option and pursue a longer-term deal. Now this got a lot of people talking and a simple trade idea broke through. Get KYRIE for Westbrook. The trade idea comes almost a week after it was reported that Nets GM Sean Marks and Lakers Vice President of Basketball Operations Rob Pelinka met in Chicago during the NBA Combine. So at the very least, there's at least a line of communication between Marks and Pelinka to discuss a potential deal. It's an interesting proposal, but odds are Kevin Durant, the one who actively recruited KYRIE to join him in Brooklyn in the summer of 2019, is the one who says no. Plus, Durant voluntarily left Russell Westbrook and the Thunder in the summer of 2016 when KD signed with the Golden State Warriors. Considering Westbrook and Durant's past history, it seems improbable that KD would want to sign up for another ride on the Westbrook Express. If they didn't work together when Russ was in his prime, why would it work with a 33-year-old version of Westbrook? Plus, there's also the fact that the relationship between LeBron James and his former teammate in KYRIE Irving can be best described as tenuous, because we don't know what to believe or who to believe in terms of whether they like each other or not. And given that team chemistry is something that the Lakers don't have, well, it's something they need to have in order to win. Bringing in KYRIE Irving would be nothing short of throwing gasoline on a fire. And remember, the Lakers are trying to avoid dumpster fires this upcoming season, okay? Number 3, John Wall. This is the obvious trade that was speculated during the NBA trade deadline. John Wall is stuck on a Rockets team unwilling to play him, focused on building a future. It is a move we have seen already, so why not go for the sequel? What type of player Wall is at this point in his career is anyone's guess. Considering his injury history and lack of playing time, Wall would come to the Lakers as a wild card. However, he wouldn't have the expectations or coverage that Westbrook demands. The last time Wall was healthy, he was a good, not great point guard who teams had to respect from the outside. In a limited role, Wall can help the Lakers and would help the team move on from a player that pushed the franchise in the wrong direction. He has a player option on the final year of his deal, an option that he will most assuredly use, considering he wouldn't demand anything close to the salary on his contract if he became a free agent. Could it work? Maybe. But we honestly don't know the quality of play that Wall can give due to injuries in the past years, and remember, the Lakers had tons of injuries last year, so bringing a potentially injury-prone player onto their squad could complicate matters further instead of helping sort them out. Number 2, Gordon Hayward. The Charlotte Hornets made a mistake paying Gordon Hayward like a star, and because of it, they lack a lot of flexibility to build around LaMelo Ball. LaMelo is a star in this league, and Charlotte needs to find a way to build a winning roster around the guard. Trading their problem in Hayward for the Lakers' problem in Westbrook brings in a new dynamic and gets them a year closer to major cap flexibility. Taking on Westbrook for a year and attempting to win with a Ball and Westbrook guard tandem would certainly make for must-watch basketball, even if the Hornets are not a real playoff contender. For the Lakers, Gordon Hayward is a great secondary scorer who would fit into the Lakers system and culture. He is more than capable in knocking down the shots that Westbrook couldn't with the room of Davis or LeBron create. Now, the Lakers need players who are going to help them spread the floor, and Hayward is a step in that direction, while helping the team part ways with Westbrook. The only downside for the Lakers is what makes this appealing to the Hornets: you trade a one-year problem for a two-year problem. However, Father Time will eventually catch LeBron, leaving a limited window for the Lakers to chase a title. Hayward might be the best option this team has this offseason if they are going to part ways with Westbrook. Number 1, a change must be done. Here's the thing you need to remember here. This isn't just about Russell Westbrook. It's about rebuilding the Lakers to the glory that they had less than 2 years ago. The bubble playoffs were a necessary thing, but it added an asterisk to the title win for the Lakers, and many now acknowledge that. The super team that they tried to use to build with LeBron, Davis, Carmelo Anthony, and Westbrook not only bombed, it bombed big time. Many were expecting this squad to be broken up by the middle of the season, though thankfully for them that didn't happen. But it could have, and that's a key distinction. The Western Conference is as stacked as it's been in a while, and with the Golden State Warriors now on top and at full power, the Lakers need something or someone to help put them on their level. The current team isn't that though, so thus a trade must be made one way or another. Else suffer the same fate as before. So what do you think? What do you think of this potential trade for Bradley Beal? Do you think that it's likely to happen? Or do you feel as though the Lakers need a trade on another level or with another player? Is there anything that the Lakers can do in the current offseason to strengthen themselves up for a run for the title next year? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.